For 27 years, New York waited for this feeling. Not a nice season, not a cute playoff run, a real finals team. And now the Knicks are here not because one superstar dragged them, but because everybody bought in. Brunson became the heartbeat. KAT accepted the role. Bridges found his fire. And the whole city started believing again. But here's the scary part. Even after sweeping Cleveland, even after 11 straight playoff wins, people still aren't sure if they're destiny or just the hottest team alive.
How good is this team? Is it about...
They are so good. I already know what your answer. They are so good. I owe the whole state and all 5 boroughs of New York an apology.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, so I want to apologize to Spike Lee, Tracy Morgan, Al Palagonia, all the superstars that were sitting there. They are really good. They have it. It reminds me of that Detroit team that beat us my last year there. You know,
with Rashid?
With Rashid. They just got a bunch of guys that are just together. Mm-hmm. Because we look at that, Detroit team, no disrespect to all the guys, but they didn't really have any really big name players that you talked about all the time. Big Shot, Chauncey was there, Rashid was there, the Hall of Famer Ben Wallace was there, but they were a collective group, and they just played together, and they fought hard, and they never gave up. And when I look at this Knicks team, it reminds me so much of that team, led by Jalen Brunson, but true definition of a player, as you know, is they make his players around them better. So, game one where he mounted the comeback, where he went crazy, Cleveland adjusted and said, okay, we're going to double him. And then he kicked it to his guy, and Josh Hart started going off. And, Shannon started playing well. KAT's not really dominating like I want him to dominate, but he's really playing nice, smooth basketball right now, getting everybody involved, initiating the offense from the top of the key. And they look good. OG Anunoby, my guy Alvarado's coming in, giving them a spark. And they're just playing very well.
The Minnesota Timberwolves on the verge of making one of the worst trades in NBA history. Yeah. If Karl Anthony Towns go and complete the mission and be a Robin to Jalen Brunson and bring a championship to New York, that's going to make the Minnesota Timberwolves look like fools. The Minnesota Timberwolves drafted Karl Anthony Towns with the #1 pick. They traded him right after they went on their first conference finals run with him and Anthony Edwards. Cam, S.A., answer this for me. Right now, what are we saying about the Minnesota Timberwolves? That they need to find a Robin to go alongside Anthony Edwards when they had one all along. But they chose Rudy Gobert contract over Karl Anthony Towns. If Karl Anthony Towns helped the Knicks complete this mission, the Minnesota Timberwolves we could officially say they made the worst trade in NBA history.
Let's take it back when the Knicks won, they won the Cup this year, right? Right, they won the Cup. Right, and they were doing well. I remember they having a little stretch where him and Mike Brown was getting into it, and he didn't really know his role, right? And it was getting a little shaky over there, like we were kind of writing the Knicks off. I want to commend KAT. This is about KAT right now, because KAT, man, you accepted that role that Mike Brown challenged you in, taking that Draymond Green role, I will call it, you being able to be the facilitator. Your assists are high in the playoffs. But I think you just taking on that role has really helped the whole team and everybody. You see Bridges, you see Brunson, everybody. They just playing so unselfishly and on the defensive end. So I really want to say, it's really about KAT to me. I mean, I know the team is good, but KAT really taking on that role has really changed the whole dynamic of the Knicks team, and that's what I took from this whole thing since he's accepted that role.
After all that, Swaggy, biggest takeaways from the Knicks?
I think
sweeping the Cavs, advancing to the first NBA Finals.
I think we all seen this coming. After what happened to Jason Tatum last year, coming into this season, I think pretty much it was up to the Knicks to get there. I didn't believe the Pistons, even though how good they was playing. they didn't have enough. After Boston went down, I didn't see nobody beating the Knicks in the East. So, but they're playing very well. And you've seen it coming. You know, it's the same James Harden story, no matter what team he's on. Is when he feels he doesn't have a shot, he gives up. You know, I think the first game did it. Like, I even stopped watching for a little bit when they was up 20, first game. Then I see the chat blowing up, Knicks won. I'm like, well, I'm in China, you know, hanging, eating noodles, got some duck wrap. Couldn't believe it. So, but the biggest takeaway, I would say, Brunson in the getting this trophy. You know, he pushed Josh Hart out the way. Serious time, no thumb.
Avoided another thumb incident.
Yeah, no thumbs up.
Not this
Let's get the job. Yeah, let's get the job done. And it's big for the city for sure. So I like the Knicks going there.
John, the Knicks were your squad until December, NBA Cup Championship. There's an incident we will talk about shortly. Change your perspective. What are your biggest takeaways from the Knicks sweeping the Eastern Conference Finals against the Cavs to reach the NBA Finals?
Big shout out to World Wide West, William Wesley, Leon Rose, having the vision since 2020 to come in and rebuild the Knicks to not only a contender, but a team that can take a guy that's under 6'2" and make him a number one option and take it to the finals. And I think there's a lot of people who said that Jalen Brunson should have went to Houston Rockets and played a third position because that's the only way he's going to be a contending championship player. I pushed back against that. That guy name was Gilbert Arenas, by the way, that said that. And a lot of guys corroborated that, like Jalen Brunson is too small because there's only two other guards that small that can take their teams to the finals and win. And when I was against that. I think that Jalen Brunson is not only a champion and a leader, but he wants to win. And he grew up with a father that had that same spirit. And I think that when you have that type of leadership, you can take it anywhere you want to take it. And he's been determined. He's not been faltered by any of the praise that he's been getting. He's had this discipline and this focus on the goal at hand. To Brandon's point, as far as KAT being the main guy, I would say it would be Mikal Bridges. I think Mikal Bridges is shooting like 69% right now after his crazy trash start that he had with the playoffs. So we didn't know if we didn't know, like, if they could win without him playing good basketball, but they was able to weather the storm and wait on him, because basketball is a game that you're going to have your slumps and you're going to have your hot streaks. Yeah. And I think right now, when you know how to play the game, get to your spots, and you have a coach that can adjust the team concept around having you get more comfortable and getting those comfort zones and making shots and making plays, the game comes to you. And I think that's what's happened with Mikal Bridges, where right now he is the wild card. He is the guy that you have to look out for when you got KAT and Brunson both playing unselfish basketball. Neither one of them are trying to go for 30, 40. They're out there trying to figure out how the team can best focus around winning the game no matter what. We're looking at the first series that they had like a 30-point win or a 51-point win against Atlanta. Then they beat Detroit. Was it Detroit? By 30? And then they ended up beating this team by too much. And I think that comes from knowing what the goal is. Our goal is to get this done no matter who gets to shine. And you look at the NBA Cup, who were the two teams in the NBA Cup? Spurs, Knicks. Two teams I picked. So if it wasn't for Josh Hart, I would have never jumped ship, you know. And now Josh Hart got a little thumb hurt and he's regretting doing the thumb shit. But after that, all the Knicks fans, the Stephen A. Smiths, Josh Smiths, Steve Smiths, all of them, they're cheering right now because the Knicks are finally back in contention to do something they haven't done in a very, very long time. And I think it's deserving. I think all of those fans deserve it. I think Jalen Brunson deserves it. Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart deserve it. I think that KAT deserves it. I think OG Anunoby deserves it. I think Mitchell Robinson deserves it. All of those guys deserve exactly this moment to be there. But like Kat said, the job's not done. They want to get back to work. They don't want to be complacent and try to take this energy on and where they are and how they got there. They just want to go and get the job done. And like I said, shots for diamonds from the start, man. Sometimes when you know hoop, you know who to pick. So whenever I'm talking now, I hope y'all listening, because this whole year I've been trying to tell y'all how I go. So at some point, proof is in the pudding.
So I am not a Knicks fan per se, but I understand the euphoria that a Knicks fan is dealing with right now. I mean, 27 years before they were in the final, killing everybody left and right, down 2-1 to Atlanta. They blew them out 3 straight games. Obviously, Philadelphia making shots. The offense, the Knicks have never at times, have always struggled offensively. Their offense right now looks just, I mean, it's phenomenal with everybody making contributions, including the bench. I was not for firing Thibodeau. Let's give Mike Brown his bouquet. He's done a great job with, moving around this offense and getting contributions from everybody besides Jalen Brunson, who did bail him out after game 1. So, I mean, listen, I certainly get the idea that the Knicks fan right now feels on top of the world. Now, I will throw a little cold water on it for a minute. Number 1, the Eastern Conference is terrible. Cleveland stinks. Philadelphia won their game 7 in Boston. No Embiid, 44-45 wins, not a big team. And Atlanta is not a good basketball team. So, and the Celtics were not whole or a year without Tatum. So I will throw a little cold water on it. The West was much better. OKC and San Antonio, big-time teams, both won 60 games. So I will do that, and we shall see how the Knicks handle the next round. But I wouldn't bet against them. They got too much flow right now, too much continuity, and a lot of confidence. Give them credit. They've done a hell of a job.
Why do you think it's working right now?
Why? Say again. Why is it working?
Why is it working?
It's a good question. I don't know. I mean, they've been together for a couple years. Owen Obi and Towns and Brunson and Hart and Bridges. So they've been together a little bit. So I think that's got a little something to do with it. Last year they probably, they got unlucky against Indiana in game 1. I think Brown's, offense has had some effect. They got a good draw. Indiana last year was a very good team. These group of teams were not good. They got a good draw. And sometimes God plays in the games. They got a good flow going. Sometimes it's your time for your team. I've seen it in sports with a lot of teams. Start with the Giants when they beat the Phillies in the World Series and beat the Texas in the World Series in 10. Won their first championship. I felt all through the playoffs the Giants were going to get lucky and win. 96 Yankees felt that. Sometimes it's maybe just your year. And I think there's a little something to that here with this Knicks team. And Brunson, of course, is, he's a great clutch player in big spots. He's not the greatest Knick of all time. That's ridiculous. Okay. He's not Willis Reed, who won 2 championships, beat West, Baylor, and Wilt Chamberlain, for crying out loud. Made the first 2 shots in game 7. He's not Clyde, one of the all-time greats who won 2 titles too. He's not on that level, and I don't even think he's on the Ewing level. Oh, but I mean. Not right now, he's not. How about winning a championship first? Ewing got the 2 finals. How about winning a championship? Plus, Ewing had to beat Jordan, had to beat Akeem Olajuwon. I mean, he had to get through Jordan all the time. One of the great, plus he got burned with a terrible decision with that fight with the Heat. I mean, Ewing was star-crossed as the Knicks. He got really unlucky in his whole career. So, I mean, I can understand a Knicks fan putting him ahead of Ewing. I think that is the dividing line right now. But he's not Willis and he's not Clyde. That's not fair. Those 2 guys won 2 championships. Willis also won an MVP. And let's not forget that Willis won the first championship with Clyde in Knicks history. Plus, they beat West, Baylor, and Wilt. 3 Hall of Famers, 3 arguably top 10, top 15 players in the history of the NBA in the 7th game. So we got to take it easy a little bit on that.
Yeah, okay, Dog. I'm glad you hit on all that, because I did want to ask you about the Brunson all-time rank talk that's been kind of taking over, everyone's thoughts and all the shows right now. So you top 5? Where does the championship put him?
I would put him. I mean, let's say wins a championship. How about if I grant you ahead of Ewing? Doesn't win a championship. How about if I put them fourth behind Ewing? I mean, Ewing played for the Knicks for 15 years.
Yeah.
Ewing is a top 50 player in the history of the NBA. Brunson is not a top 50 player in the history of the NBA. So you got to put all that into the equation. And again, Ewing had to beat Jordan. I mean, Jordan beat Ewing a ton of times. Mm-hmm. And then Olajuwon, one of the great players in did the Atlanta Hawks have Olajuwon on the team? I must have missed it. How about Cleveland? You think Jordan's a little better than Donovan Mitchell? I'm not to mention Pippen. I must have missed it. So let's put a little break on all that. But again, if they do beat Wembanyama, and I still think it's going to be Oklahoma City. If they do beat SGA, or if they beat the Spurs, and they're not going to have home court, and then I think we can have another discussion. Right now, I put them, and I have trouble putting them over to Busher, but right now I'll put them fourth to make the Knicks fan happy. Fourth.
I mean, I was still going to go Knicks, but now I want to hear about why you think it's OKC.
I think OKC, I think they're going to beat the Spurs. I think OKC, they got to get their two players back. They got two injuries right now, Mitchell and Williams, and they both need them back. But OKC's got two centers, Holmgren and Hartenstein, who will make it difficult for Towns and Robinson. SGA will be the best player on the court. They got home court. They got experience. They won a championship, and they won it in Game 7, and they got a better bench than the Knicks do. So because of those reasons, I would pick OKC. If I was a Knicks fan, I would root for the Spurs to get through this series, and they could. I don't think they will, but they could. I would root for the Spurs only because of youth. The Knicks played well against San Antonio in the regular year. They won 2 out of 3. So I would root for the Spurs, but I do think Knicks Thunder, I think you got to give an edge to the Thunder in the final. I really do. Plus, the conference is much better. Guys,
agreed.
The Atlanta Hawks stink, okay? The Cleveland Cavaliers stink. They're not a big-time team. All right, Jared Allen is not a big player. Mobley's pretty good. Harden never wins. And Mitchell's very good. That's it. That's their team. And Atkinson wasn't exactly Red Auerbach in this series. Let's be also fair there. And the Knicks also always beat Philly. And Embiid didn't play in a couple of games. And the Sixers, they're not a great team. They won 44, 45 games. So let's put a little break on the idea that the Knicks got through, essentially, they didn't beat the 86 Celtics to get to the final. Let's keep that in mind.